Brought to you by Sayaka. Cooking with electricity is now so affordable with the Fumba tariff set by the Electricity Regulatory Authority.
Good evening, Uganda. Good evening to our dearest viewer. Thank you so much for choosing the national broadcaster this lovely evening, Monday night. This is News Tonight coming your way, the 5th day of September 2022. We are live. As we start off this newscast, let's look at the headlines. Kenya Supreme Court upholds William Ruto's win. Raila Odinga responds to court ruling. Police hunting for Sipapa accused of robbing a Sudanese national. And finally, Uganda progresses to the knockout stage after 2 wins. Thank you once again for staying with us and choosing UBC this lovely Monday as you kick off this very week. Now, right into our details of the day. The Supreme Court of Kenya has upheld Kenya Kwanza Alliance, Dr. William Ruto's victory as the 5th duly elected president of the Republic of Kenya. This follows the dismissal of the 5 petitions filed against Ruto by the petitioners led by Raila Odinga challenging his victory as president-elect.
Dated with E001.
Justices of Supreme Court led by Chief Justice Martha Koome have upheld William Ruto's victory as the 5th president of Kenya.
The presidential election petition number E005 of 2022 as consolidated are hereby dismissed. As a consequence, we declare the election of the first respondent as president-elect to be varied under Article 143 of the Constitution.
The Apex Court highlighted 9 issues on which to determine the petition filed by Azimio la Umoja candidate Raila Odinga with other 6 petitioners in a consent judgment on issues 1 and 2 concerning the technology deployed by IEBC, whether it met the required standards and whether there was interference of Forms 33A during the time of uploading and transmission to the IEBC public portal. Court ruled that the petitioners failed to prove to court to the extent that they availed court with fake documents.
No credible evidence meeting the requisite standard of proof of access to the system by unauthorized persons was adduced by the petitioners. A review of some of the logs presented as evidence of staging showed that they were either from logs arising from the 2017 presidential election or were outright forgery. In our considered view, there was no evidence of a man-in-the-middle server configured to the IEBC's VPN network, and no evidence was produced to show that the chairperson of IEBC and staff were part of the arranged conspiracy.
The Supreme Court found no evidence that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission did not carry out the verification, tallying and declaration of the results in accordance with the Constitution of Kenya.
Although the petitioners have provided numerous averments pointing to possible irregularities and illegalities marked by failure of technology, arranged voter suppression, printing and utilization of Book 2 of 2, we are of the view that the pointed illegalities and irregularities were not of such magnitude as to affect the final result of the presidential election.
Court also confirmed that the declared president attained 50% plus 1 vote, basing on IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati's evidence.
The chairperson of IEBC applied the formula in Article 138(4) of the Constitution, which is total votes cast less rejected votes divide by 2 must always give 50% plus 1 vote. On the basis of the foregoing formula and from the numbers provided by IBC, it is our finding that the declared president-elect attained 50% plus 1 of all the votes cast in accordance with Article 138(4) of the Constitution.
Although the petitioners had claimed that they had enough evidence to prove the presidential election had massive irregularities and misconduct, the consolidated presidential election petitioners all failed. In this case, William Ruto, IEBC, the 2 commissioners, including the chairperson Wafula Chebukati, presented a team of 54 lawyers and 42 lawyers for Nile Odinga. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Still at Kenya, was saying the Kenyan President-elect William Ruto commending his supporters, the electoral body and judiciary for a job well done. Speaking at his home moments after the Supreme Court upheld his election, Dr. Ruto reaffirmed his commitment to serve Kenyans and build a strong nation. The swearing-in ceremony for Kenya's 50th president is slated for September 13th.
It is now time for us to prepare for the day when we wake up to the momentous duty to serve Kenyans. Let us all reflect on our contribution and look forward to build this country and nation together to achieve the glory of Kenya, express its heritage and splendor, and fill every Kenyan heart with thanksgiving. As I said earlier, the hero of our campaign is the legendary Mama Mboga and Boda Boda. The hero of the election is one Wafula Chebukati and the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. And the hero of our democracy and the rule of law and constitutionalism is our judiciary. We celebrate all Kenyans, and I pledge and commit to work as the Kenya Kwanza team in making sure that we take Kenya to the next level. I will shortly be putting a call to my good friend, President Uhuru Kenyatta. We have not we have not, I haven't talked to him in months. But shortly I will bring a call to him so that we can have a conversation on the process of transition. I know he worked hard in his own way, but the people of Kenya have made a decision. And we have absolutely no issue with the democratic choices of any Kenyan. You remember I said earlier,
Relatedly, on the same matter, Azimio la Umoja candidate Raila Odinga has conceded defeat after the pronouncement of the Supreme Court of Kenya. Raila issued a press release through his Twitter handle. He said, I quote, "We have always stood for the rule of law and the Constitution. In this regard, we respect the opinion of the court, although we vehemently disagree with their decision today." Of law and the Constitution. In this regard, we respect the opinion of the court, although we vehemently disagree with their decision today. Our lawyers proffered irrefutable evidence and the facts were on our side. Unfortunately, the judges saw it otherwise. We find it incredible that the judges found against us on all 9 counts, and occasion resulted to unduly exaggerated language to refute our claims. This judgment is by no means the end of our movement. In fact, it inspires us to redouble our efforts to transform this country into a prosperous democracy where each and every Kenyan can find their full belonging. We thank our supporters and Kenyans across the country for standing with us. We will be communicating in the near future on our plans to continue our struggle for transparency, accountability, and democracy. God bless you and God bless Kenya. Signed right there, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. In other updates, Ugandan members of parliament have welcomed the Kenyan Supreme Court ruling that upheld the election of William Ruto as the 5th president of Kenya. The legislators say this is an indication of progressive growth in democracy, which other East African countries, including Uganda, should learn from. William Ruto's main challenger, Raila Odinga, sought court redress to have elections declared null and void, citing election irregularities.
Dated with E001.
The last 2 weeks have seen anxiety fill East Africa over the presidential petition in the Republic of Kenya. The eyes have been on the Supreme Court on whether it would be upholding or nullifying the presidential elections. The wait, however, is no more, as William Samoei Ruto has been confirmed as the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya.
The presidential election petition number E005 of 2022 as consolidated with the presidential election petition numbers E001, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8 of 2022 are hereby dismissed.
It is a ruling that has been welcomed by many, including a section of Ugandan members of parliament.
The judicial system of Kenya has matured, and it is something to teach, to give lessons to other systems in East Africa and certainly all over Africa, and possibly the world and the third world, because we have seen this in especially Latin America also having problems, including even the Eastern Bloc.
And I want to say that many people had lost hope because many people on the bench, on the Supreme Court bench, were of the side of Raila Odinga. But they didn't follow that, as many people thought that they are going to go on the side of Raila Odinga as they did in 2017, but they were just following the case on merit.
We have learned that if you went into the election and you feel you're aggrieved, you've been mistreated, you have to go to court. And the moment you go to court, be ready for the results, the way they will come out.
The MPs say William Ruto's win is positive for not only Uganda, but all East African countries.
We are all rejoicing as East Africa because we passed here laws and we are looking forward to the East African Federation. So we are very, very happy about it.
William Ruto of Kenya Kwanza Alliance contested against Azimio la Umoja's Raila Odinga, who came second in a tightly contested presidential race. Odinga was supported by incumbent President Uhuru Kenyatta, who has since remained tight-lipped on the presidential election outcome. The MPs say there is a lot to learn from this.
These are the two heavily rich families of Kenya. If he is able to cut across that, walk on the precipice politically to the apex of the mountain, is a great man. And his speaking is the voice of the voiceless, the voice of the local person.
So it is a lesson to us Ugandans also to know that when you sit in those offices, you must exercise you must exercise that in accordance with the Constitution, in accordance with the legal framework, and that will help. Once you come out with a ruling which is based on the law, then definitely you may not get challenges of people saying you've been one-sided.
With William Ruto confirmed next President of the Republic of Kenya. Presidential swearing-in is slated for Tuesday, September 13th. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, moving on, Kenyan scholars in Uganda have shared their views about the Kenyan 5th president hours after the Kenyan Supreme Court gave its verdict in the recent Kenyan presidential petition in which Raila Odinga challenged the slight win of his close contestant, William Ruto.
Irregularities and irregularities marked by failure of technology.
On 9th August 2022, Kenya held the national elections for president, members of the National Assembly and Senate, county governors, and members of the 47 county assemblies.
Is your right. Determining a leader that you want to lead is your right.
3 weeks later, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission declared William Ruto of United Democratic Alliance, literally known as Kazni winner, with 7,176,141 votes, or 50%, compared to Raila Odinga with 6,942,930 votes, or 49%. Raila Odinga challenged the election on grounds that the results were tampered with, among other irregularities. Hearings and findings about the petition filed by Azimio la Umoja's Raila Odinga challenging the United Democratic Alliance's William Ruto started. Today, 7 judges have given a final verdict on the next Kenya's president in favor of William Ruto.
Now the view that the pointed irregularities and irregularities were not of such magnitude as to affect the final result.
UBC talked to some of the Kenyan community in Uganda in line with Kenya's Supreme Court ruling. Dr. Sylvia Atoko, a Kenyan living in Uganda, also doing Faculty of Business and Management at International University of East Africa, applauded Kenya's Supreme Court.
Our president-elect has actually been chosen by God. I also want to thank the Supreme Court for ensuring that the will of the people has prevailed. The Supreme Court has showed that the elections were very transparent. They were not actually rigged.
Emmanuel Sebijo Semanda, the Dean of Law at International University of East Africa, asserts that the Supreme Court's ruling is final.
Democracy has won because President Ruto was elected and then Raila Odinga challenged that election. So the courts had to be involved, and that for a lawyer is a full display of democracy. Why rerun once again? Politics will take center stage, of course, supported by the law. Odinga should first of all accept the result of the election because, of course, that is what democracy is, and with every election there's a winner and a loser. So if the court has said that William Ruto is the winner, then William Ruto is the winner, and of course Odinga has to go back to his constituents and tell them to accept this election and the result, because that is what the law requires them to do.
Atoko also commended Kenya for having demonstrated a great level of political calmness and maturity.
There were very minimal cases of bloodshed and death. Unlike the other election, I'm not ready to go back to that. So this particular time, what was being preached was peace, which shows that there is a lot of maturity.
The involvement of technology and digitalization depicted in the recent Kenyan elections is one of the fundamental mechanisms that helped a free and fair election.
The biggest takeaway for me has been the role of technology in this election, because as humans we usually evolve slower than our systems, but Kenya has showed that it can catch up with technology.
I'm Ivan Juko for UBC News.
Thank you, Ivan. Now, in other details, Uganda police and sister security agencies have launched a manhunt for the Kampala socialite Charles Olim, also known as Sipapa, over robbery allegations in the home of Jacob Aropu, a Sudani national at Kawuku Bunga. Police spokesman Fred Enanga has confirmed the arrest of 4 Sipapa associates, including his wife Shamira Nachiyemba.
Exhibits of evidential material allegedly stolen from the home of Arok Jacob were recovered. We managed to recover 70,000 US dollars out of the 429,000 that was stolen. 4 iPhones, 3 laptops, gold jewelry of the wife of Jacob Baroque. We got 1 iPhone charger, a Mac Pro charger, and we also recovered 2 registration number plates, UBG025B and UBA023U.
Police is holding 4 suspects, including Nachiyimba Shamira, Sipapa's wife, as the hunt for Sipapa continues.
Serious manhunt for Sipapa or Orimu who is urgently needed for questioning is ongoing. His last locations were in Nagongera, Soni and Nawire sub-counties in Tororo, where he was distributing a lot of money to members in those villages.
Sipapa is known for using guns in a reckless manner by brutalizing opposition politicians. On several occasions, Sipapa attacked NOP offices in Kamocha and injured people without security intervention. Meanwhile, police are looking for the husband of Nabulime Ida, Male Isaac, on the account of negligence while torturing a juvenile. Male Isaac, a stepfather for the tortured victim.
You would find that the Male Isaac, as a stepfather, did not intervene at whatever stage that this stepdaughter was being tormented and tortured by the mother.
In Wakiso district, police arrested 6 LODU personnel over staging unsanctioned roadblocks with a sole purpose of stealing from different road users.
Include RA, Ayume Saidi, Oroboro Julius, Aguma Matthew, Adia Ilikal, Tambara Stephen, and Luima Siraj. So these ones, together with the military, we are going to ensure that they appear in the court martial.
Most 7 accounts of assault have been reported against the self-proclaimed prophetic intendants of Hoima, making a total of 13 cases. 3 members of the church are also being reported missing.
Like licking the shoes to get healed, and as well as the stiff hugging of church members and caning of church members.
Security working with the Office of the Prime Minister and other refugee-related organizations have erected provisional shelters along borders for timely response and receptions. Abdul Nasiri Lubwama and Insamba Juma for UBC News.
Well, news tonight settles for a short break. When we return, I will look at more activities of the day.
October Bidel Musaba Gardens Mukono, October Mukaga Millennium Gardens Sazibuaya, October Munanaji Montelembara, 10 October, 40 Poto Muchisawe, Abidim Bi October, Bale Sports Center, Umtual Kumo, Yebem Tuale Santo, a meza million yemo, Wabla Tual Kumia, Abana tickets of Cosa MTN Momo, Bajagusa Sulan Comitano, Binamina Romo Center, Hiva Motors, Galaxy FM, Radio 4, Kawila War, TN. Saba Fulu Balamo.
We can't tolerate sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment is unacceptable in our school.
Because a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
Oh, they look nice.
Thank you, honey.
Yo!
You guys gather is going down.
Gather! Yo!
I tell you what. Yo!
Airtel is giving you bigger data bundles for the same price. Dial *175# to choose from our range of bigger Chillax bundles that don't expire. Bigger monthly bundles, all for the same price. And stay connected longer to loved ones. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Cooking with electricity is now affordable. Cook your beans. Avoid smoke.
Sayaka. Cooking with electricity is now so affordable with the Fumba tariff set by the Electricity Regulatory Authority. With the Fumba tariff, you can now buy up to 70 units of Yaka at a reduced price of 412 Uganda shillings per unit after consuming your first 80 units of the month. For more information, contact the Electricity Regulatory Authority on 0200 506 000.
Forget last season. Forget the oohs and ahs. Forget every moment that stole the show, because the real show is here on GoTV. It's the new season. It's action-packed, and it's going to be non-stop football. With over 1,000 games from more than 7 leagues and cup competitions plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seat in the house this new football season. Get a GoCoder with 1 month of GoTV value for only 25,000 Uganda shillings and enjoy non-stop football. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
News tonight, it is. You're most welcome back. Now, looking at other details of the day, the General Court Martial in Makindye has set 26 September 2022 to proceed with the hearing of the bail application filed by the 32 accused NUP supporters. This follows absence of the prosecution investigator in court, who is responsible to file the affidavits in reply to the defense in the matter.
The 32 Nationality Platform supporters who are facing charges of unlawful possession of firearms include Lutaya Olivia, Luanga Stanley, Kavuma Musa, Stephen Musukura, Nyombi Richard, Sechtoliko Yasini, Sharif Kalanzi, among others. These have appeared at the court martial in Makindye before Chairman Brigadier General Freeman Robert Mugabe to proceed with the hearing of their bail application. But prosecution led by Lieutenant Colonel Raphael Mugisha prayed to court for more time so as to file affidavits in reply over the accused's bail application.
To be specific, the investigator of the matter is deployed outside the country, and we are in touch with the office of Joint Chief of Staff to have this person recorded to come and depone our affidavits.
The accused's defense lawyer, George Musisi, objected to prosecution's prayers.
We filed the formal written application and we served it on to our colleagues, the respondents, and they duly received it on the 24th of January this year. So it's not right that almost 4 months since closure of hearing, they are waiting for a person out of the country to depone an affidavit.
Court, however, urged the prosecution to quicken up with a response to the defense, such that the matter is expedited quickly. One of the defense lawyers, George Musisi, says court's actions infringes on the accused's rights since they have spent over a year on remand.
We made our frustrations known. We believe this is a continuation of the abuse of these people's rights. They have made this application, it's almost 7 months now since we started hearing of just the bail application, which is a right because applying for bail is a constitutional right. At least we should apply and court pronounces itself on our application.
Family members of the accused persons were unhappy.
Nabavundira makomera banne ntunulidde mwannyinaze mbutuufu mpulira nga nze nanjagala kusaanawo mwannyinaze yaleka amaka nze maama kati nze taata watya mukazi mulamu wange nakeera ku makya n'atambula n'agenda bannayo obulumi bungi mutusaasire
omwana mwaka mulamba omuwabi wa gavumenti ye yabulirawa obujulizi babunoonyereza bo bwabulirawo.
Court resumes on the 26th of September 2022. In another development, in the matter where 19 civilians murdered police officers in different parts of the country, prosecution has presented the 11th witness, Dr. Herbert Baguma. Dr. Herbert Baguma, a pathologist at Mitana Hospital, informed the court he carried out a post-mortem on the two murdered officers, Police Constable Chigongo Moses and Corporal Rokech Alfred. According to Baguma, Corporal Rokech Alfred had a gunshot wound that made him bleed to death, and Police Constable Chigongo Moses was murdered with a very sharp object. Court will resume on the 19th of September 2022. Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Nabukude, UBC News.
Thank you, Rebecca, and of course, Susan. Now, moving on, High Court in Fort Portal has kicked off a 3-day Court of Appeal criminal sessions aimed at addressing case backlog in the region. Fort Portal Court has a backlog of 1,486 cases, while 8,972 cases are still pending.
The Deputy Chief Justice Richard Batera, together with Lady Justice Irene Muriagonja and Lady Justice Eva Luswata, were at Fort Portal Court for Criminal Court of Appeal sessions. The three justices met Fort Portal Court magistrate officials and security heads before the first court session. In the meeting, Fort Portal resident Judge Vincent Wagona expressed need for regular court sessions to clear the case backlog.
A circuit like Fort Portal, 2 judges we propose should aim at having at least 1 high court session and 1 plea bargain session per quarter for each judge. We have also observed that the inadequate staffing in the other institutions, especially the ODPP as well as among legal aid providers, is affecting timely determination of criminal matters.
Between July 2021 and June 2022, Fort Portal High Court concluded 255 criminal cases in 6 High Court sessions, 200 in 2 plea bargain sessions, and 13 in juvenile High Court sessions.
745 criminal cases committed to the High Court awaiting trial, with another 283 capital cases expected to be committed.
Land-related caseload at Fort Portal High Court is at 80%, with a call to government to fund civil cases. Fort Portal RCC Angalia Kasigwa asked government to enhance sensitization on laws to address corrupt officials.
Corruption even in our offices, police, judiciary. Let's continue supervising our junior staff on their way of work. There's a lot of complaint from the one end.
On case backlog, Deputy Chief Justice attributes the problem to inadequate facilitation and staffing.
There is need for expansion of the institutions that work with the judiciary. A case that has not been properly investigated will not be properly prosecuted. So it has to move from the investigators, increase the numbers, increase their training so that they are capable of doing their work. And then the file that goes to the DPP is well investigated and it is easier to prosecute.
The Court of Appeal criminal sessions will hear 14 murder cases, 19 aggravated defilement, 7 aggravated robbery, and 2 rape cases.
Away from court matters, today schools have opened up for the final term in this year. Parents and school administrators have cut budgets to cater for important necessities due to the stiff economy.
Among the schools UBC visited include Good Mother Kindergarten and Daycare, where pupils were already attending class. The director, Esther Severi, says low turn-up of pupils has been recorded due to lack of requirements.
Kambe tukole nnyo kubanga economy eri wansi naye tukole nnyo tusobola okufuna ebisomo by'amasomero tusaba na ku masomero kubanga tebasomya basinga ate nga third term ya kuyisa this is a promotional term where we have to strive. Basomesa n'abazadde tukwasize wamu tugende ku masomero twogere n'abasomesa batuyambe ebizibu nga biba nga bingi mu maka ga.
At King's Primary School, Kabowa, parents and pupils crowded the school to check in early morning. The director, Joseph Chigundu, urged the parents to send all the children to school.
The reason of who are still having issues bring back children to school, we simply talk to them. We recommend that they visit the schools, talk to the proprietors of the schools, to the managers of the schools, and agree on payment mechanisms, payment plans, so that they are able to bring back children to school early enough.
At Chitanta Hill School, the students were welcomed with testing exams. The director, Elizabeth Oneka, says, due to limited resources, the students feed on the usual portion beans.
Have challenge of fees payment, but the parents have started paying because we kept sending them messages to try to pay early. We specifically encourage the parents of the candidate classes to pay on time so that the candidates settle.
At City Secondary School, the opening day has been normal with the students starting normal classes. The Director of Studies, Samju Lawrence, urged the students to be more serious this term.
Students are reporting one by one, but we know at the end of it all, they will join us. We know maybe why they are failing to come back. It is because of the economic hardship outside there. The economy is biting hard.
Ivan Juko, weekly from Dutch, UBC News.
Ministry of Education and Sports has received basic protective equipment worth £1 billion from Finca Uganda to cater for health training institutions. The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education and Sports, Katie Lamaro, received the equipment and termed the contribution as timely for the 25 training institutions.
COVID-19 is still in existence, hence utilizing the basic equipment.
So I want to appreciate Finca Uganda very, very much for this generous contribution. We know that it will support our health training institutions in form of really the basic protective equipment they need in their day-to-day learning process. So I want to thank Finca so much, and also thank our minister who initiated this process of seeking support for the COVID response. And also His Excellency the President, you remember that he was the first to start the fundraising drive to get whoever could support the COVID response.
Commissioner Health, Education and Training, Dr. Safina Kesumusene, appreciated the support.
Health training institutions are going to use these masks in various ways as they manage their patients and as they learn to prevent COVID-19, to protect them against COVID-19, but also to protect them against other nosocomial infections that they may get as they treat the patients.
The Executive Director, Finca Uganda, James Onyita, says the pandemic affected the education sector the most, hence giving them priority.
Now, we chose to partner with the Ministry of Health in particular because this will have a greater impact to the general and overall society in Uganda. The health sector, in particularly the training institutes, do support the delivery of health workers across the institution. And this being the first institution that was opened up for education after the pandemic, we thought we should join hands and indeed give them the support.
The basic equipment is a big relief despite challenges.
We lack the forceps for students to use for practicing and maintain sterility. We've tried to acquire, but they are not enough. We also lack training models for students to use for simulation. And we are begging if Finca can also think of getting us training models, we shall be happy.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Lira District Local Government has rejected to implement the directive issued by the State House Anti-Corruption Unit. Earlier, the COW Lira was directed to write a letter revoking all the land titles issued on government land in Ereda Estate. But in their sitting last week, the Lira District Council resolved that the COW should not heed the directive given by the State House Anti-Corruption Unit.
tried to discuss something that is happening in this should go to court. But now, I also have to respond to state court.
During the 31st August Council meeting, Lira District Cow Beno team informed the Council that he received a directive from State House Anti-Corruption Unit to write a letter revoking all titles issued to the squatters in Ireda Estate that once belonged to the district. In their resolution, the Council rejected to heed to the directive. Attempts to get a comment from the State House Anti-Corruption Unit were futile, but in the recent past there has been a number of concerns over the disposal of public land by district officials. And in April last year, 4 Lira district officials were interdicted over regular sale of public lands. State House Anti-Corruption Unit has been investigating a number of irregularities pertaining land issues in which Francis Okello, the Secretary District Land Board, was arrested by the unit and is currently on interdiction. But the district speaker, Maurice Adem, says the move to revoke titles will result into litigation.
We looked into the legality and objected that decision and instructed the cow as the council not to tamper. So giving land for development is not a problem. One of the reasons we have the city is because land have been given for development. It seems some people are using the State House. State House, we know, doesn't own any land in the district.
There are many controversies surrounding the land management in the district, and the same council sitting resolved to sell their assets within Lira City to relocate to the new administrative center in Gulu.
They hold it in trust. Everything belongs to God, the center. Do you think they will sell? And who will buy?
And we want to leave this place, and we cannot wait for the government to save us. Ginger gave their administration block to visit Uganda breweries. Uganda breweries relocated them to their new site. The government was there, and the corruption was there. Nobody should be wasting time going to bring and the corruption over legal issues, over obvious issues. For us, we are not going to be intimidated, and we don't want intimidation. It should only be put to good use to benefit the public.
Eddie Olua, UBC News.
Now, a sad one that is coming through. A guard attached to Kombozi Security Services in Rwamutunchu Sub-County, Ruchiga District, has been murdered. The deceased was also an attendant at a Twibi petrol station in the same area.
Residents in Gongoro village in Rwamuchuchu Sub-County, Ruchiga District, woke up to the murder of a petrol station attendant, Isaac Mwesije. The 42-year-old, a security guard attached to Kombozi Security Services, has also been working at Twibi petrol station.
Oralinda a petrol station paha. Yabariyo mushija murungi, otaka hulera yomba n'abatuzi, otaka muhulera yomba n'aba customer bijira hampaha, yabariyo muntu oyijire mazima ari kwera abantu abarakoze sigi petrol station.
Ronald Turiahebwa, a pump attendant at the petrol station who was on duty last night, said he had people trying to open the main shop at the station, and when he made an alarm, they ran away. Turiahebwa tried to call Mwesije, but the latter could not pick his phones until he realized that Mwesije had been murdered. The police cannon unit from Kabale Central Police stopped at one of the bars in a nearby trading center where they recorded statements from 6 suspects. Eli Mate, the Chigezi Regional Police spokesperson, confirmed the incident. By press time, the deceased body was being taken to Kabale Regional Referral Mortuary for a post-mortem.
We'd definitely settle for a break and return with business.
Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
happiness comes to us in many places. It's in knowing the mosquito net keeps our children healthy. The wife having the support of her husband. It's in deciding together when to have a baby. And for some, focusing on what's important right now. So what's your happiness? Make the right health decisions to ensure happiness for you and your family.
Beat the back-to-school hustle today. Pay school fees conveniently using Airtel Money. Dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees.
Select to pay using Bridge Schools, School Pay or Beg Pay.
Select option 1, pay fees. Enter student number. Enter the amount. Enter the PIN number to complete payment. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. Now straight into our business this Monday. The Directorate of Industrial Training and Mastercard Foundation has awarded 2,049 graduates of Uganda Rural Development and Training Institute in Kagadi District with national certificates in different fields. The RDC Kagadi Nicholas Kamukama charged the graduates to utilize the training and improve their skills.
Students of Uganda Road Development and Training Institute in Kagadi have received certificates after qualifying in automotive mechanics, electrical installation, welding and fabrication, carpentry, joinery, hairdressing, tailoring, weaving and leather designing. The Vice Chancellor, African Royal University and founder of Uganda Road Development and Training Institute, Dr. Mwalim Mashishe, emphasized on training both mental and hands-on skills to enable the youth create their own jobs.
When the young people in the communities get occupied meaningfully and they get dignified work to do and they get income, so the issues of being vagabond goes down, the issues of taking drugs, the issues of drinking. We are not saying they stop drinking, but they will stop, they drink responsibly. So therefore, the social upheavals you always hear in the villages will also go down.
The Director of Education and Training at URDT, Robert Katabazi, said over 70,000 youths aged between 18 to 35 out of school, both female and male, have been trained in various hands-on skills in 20 districts since 1993.
Working with the 20 districts in Bunyoro and part of Uganda.
This hairdressing has helped me. Last year in COVID-19, I wasn't able to study because I lacked school fees. Now I'm able to pay my school fees. I'm studying. It's because of this hairdressing. You girls who are still there, you don't have to be job seekers but job creators.
Uganda Road Development and Training Institute was started in 1993 to offer vocational training and is supported through the Office of the Prime Minister.
News tonight, it is on to our international updates. Ethiopian government has called upon the stakeholders under the umbrella of the Nile Basin initiative to respect the principle of reasonable and equitable utilization of the Nile water as agreed by the 10 member states. This follows Ethiopia's grounds that Egypt is suffocating the agreement after it hinders Ethiopia's development on the Nile water. Ethiopia is holding a regional conference on the utilization of Nile Basin water, which is to last 3 days in Addis Ababa.
In 1999, 10 Nile Basin countries agreed to collectively provide a forum for sustainable management and development of the shared Nile Basin water. The Nile Basin Initiative has a number of achievements that have benefited member states. Ethiopia is hosting the first regional conference on the equitable and reasonable utilization of the Nile Basin water resource. The conference was officially opened by the Ethiopia's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs, Demek Mekonnen, who said that national issues affect the sustainable use of the water resource.
We just reject undue politicization of the GERD. The dam does not entail any significant harm to any riparian country. We remain engaged in the effort to arrive at guidelines on the first filling and annual operation of the dam under the auspices of the African Union.
In 2011, Ethiopia, on its course to utilize the Nile water on its territory, embarked on the construction of the Great Ethiopia Renaissance Dam worth $5 billion. The initiative met resistance from Egypt, which claimed the development would reduce water supply. Ethiopian authorities say the project has faced hindrances on financing due to the allegations labeled against the development of the dam.
But over the last 2-3 years, Egypt has undertaken aggressive diplomatic campaign against the dam, and in violation of the 2015 DOP Declaration on Principles.
Negotiations to have a common solution to the challenge have always hit a snag. Stakeholders appeal for each member state contribution to support efforts that give a solution.
Decided on their interest, no. The use of the Nile water should be based on mutual benefits of the governments around the River Nile. That's my message. There, if you think that you can use war as an option, believe me, war will never benefit you, and war is not an option that we are thinking about.
It's not ready to resolve the problem on the principle of equitable and reasonable utilization of the common water resources. The water is common water property. It should be equitably and reasonably at least addressed.
Reliable information puts the status of the international law giving way to Ethiopia to utilize the Nile water within its territory for any development for a common good. Meanwhile, Egypt has not been represented at the Addis Ababa conference.
That this is a problem which belongs to the African Union. Whether you look at it from the point of view of the Constitutive Act, or you look at it from the point of view of the policy decisions of the AU.
Daniel Mugoya, Dan Lugemwa, UBC News.
Now, that's all we had when it comes to the international updates. But for now, we return shortly with the sports. Glad to know that you're still a part of this newscast. On to sports. The 2022 Pepsi University Football League season is due to return with quarter-final ties that have been drawn. Our reporter was at Katkati Restaurant and has the details.
After a while minus action, the 2022 Pepsi University Football League is set to return on 14th September with quarter-final ties. The draw has been made with Nkumba University to entertain defending champions Uganda Christian University as Bugema University plays Uganda Matters University.
We started with a meeting of all sports tutors, those ones in the quarterfinals and those ones that didn't make it. We agreed in that meeting that we need to protect the image of our brand, the UFL, and measures are going to be put in place by the hosting and the visiting teams to ensure that the fans don't disrupt the events.
Two-time defending champions Kampala University face St. Lawrence University, while Chambogo University dates Makere University Business School. These games will be played on home and away basis between 14th September and 5th October.
It's been a pleasure spending time with you and serving you, giving you the entire current affairs for this whole day. Well, before I let you go, I'll look at the headlines again. Kenya Supreme Court upholds William Ruto's win. Raila Odinga responds to court ruling. And elsewhere, police hunting for Sipapo accused of robbing a Sudanese national. And to sum it up, Uganda progresses to the knockout stage after 2 wins. Thank you so much for your company, and thank you for choosing the national broadcaster. You make us proud every single time you keep it here with us and let us inspire each and every single day. It's been a newscast right on coming to you from the hour of 10 p.m. It's been a pleasure spending time with you for the entire hour. My name is Sandra Kahunde, and of course I'm going to be leaving you with the weather forecast updates, and Molen will be giving you those details. But apparently right now as we speak, there is a downpour happening right here in Kampala. Well, take care of yourselves, have a blessed night, and of course enjoy this entire week. We pray for provision as most of the students are preparing to get back to school for this provisional and of course promotional term. From the entire team behind the scene, God bless you.
Well, hello there. Good evening and a very warm welcome to the weather report for tonight. My name is Molin Kenyana. Now, we have seen mostly rainy conditions across several places within the country, and we could still be looking at similar weather as we're talking about the onset of the September to December second major rainy season across the country. But for now, we want to take a look at the satellite analysis of what has been happening since yesterday into today, and we continue to see those southeasterly winds that are coming in from the Indian Ocean towards the country, and that is contributing to the wet weather activities that we've had, especially across the eastern part of the country. At the same time, we're seeing part of the rain belt that is aligned mostly across the western sector that is bringing us rains across that region, as well as most areas within the central part of the country. Now, from that, we can anticipate that tomorrow in the morning we will start off with quite a mix of clouds and sunshine, and that will be across most areas within the country. But later in the afternoon, we shall see a development of rainy conditions, and that will be across most areas. Some of those will be accompanied by thunder showers. At daytime highs, we are forecasting a maximum of 27. That will be across the nation's capital, Kampala. Similar weather for Jinja as well as Tororo, and quite a cool day for the Karamoja region. We'll see temperatures going up to 26 degrees centigrade, and even cooler than that for Kabale Highlands. We'll see a maximum of 23 degrees. Well, some of the cities that we have for you are outside of Uganda. We are forecasting sunny weather. That will be for Abu Dhabi as well as Beijing, and a cloudy day for Washington, Cape Town. A rainy day is forecast for London at a maximum of 21. Well, that is it from the Weather Center for now. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Molin Kenyana, wishing you a good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
It's that time of the year again when Rotary is changing power. In 1905, Paul Harris thought of this very exciting institution